First things first, congratulate yourself on securing an interview. You have been chosen from a large pool of candidates and you've done really well. No doubt you'll be listening to great advice from those closest to you, saying just be yourself, you'll be fine. However, you know that this will not be enough to secure the job you really want. Hiring managers are looking for the best person to fill their vacancy, and they are interviewing you to find out if you are the best person. However, a job interview is always a two-way street. Not only do you need to convince an employer that you are right for their job, you also need to feel assured that they are right for you. Preparing for your interview is essential, not only for you to make the right impression on who could be your next employer, it's also as important for you to ensure you have done your homework to ensure they are right for you. So let's look at how you can nail your interview. Quite simply, if you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk you through 7 essential steps to help ensure that you're fully prepared. So the first step is to research the organisation. You are bound to be asked specific questions around an employer's business, so make sure you do your homework on their latest profits, new product launches and any challenges they may be facing. There is nothing more disappointing for a hiring manager when a candidate oozes with enthusiasm but doesn't know more than the basic facts about their company. So visit the company's website to ensure you understand what they do. Review their careers page to understand and appreciate their values and mission statement. Look on social media, LinkedIn and Facebook, and follow the organisation, reviewing their posts to understand more about their culture and also their recent news and updates. Research issues, trends and opportunities affecting the organisation and the wider job sector. Read recent press releases for insight on projected growth and stability. If possible, aim to speak to someone who currently works for the organisation or has previously to gain a better understanding of what it's like to work there. And have a look at the organisation's Glassdoor reviews, but bear in mind that people only normally comment if they've had a great or poor experience working for the organisation, so ensure you are reading the reviews in this context. Ultimately, develop an intelligent list of questions about the organisation and the industry based upon your research ready for your interview. So let's move on to step 2. Find out about your interviewers. Ensure you're aware from your consultant about the format of the interview and who and how many people will be interviewing you, their names and job titles. To help to put you at ease and to demonstrate how well you've prepared, aim to find out more about the people who will be interviewing you. Take a look on LinkedIn and also the company website. Try and find out more about their background, how long they have worked for the company and what their role is. Being able to demonstrate an interest in your employers could make all the difference. The third stage is preparation, your dress code and your journey to the interview. Dress to impress. Make sure you go neutral and be conservative with your business attire. Wear professional shoes and keep your jewellery and makeup simple if applicable. Do a dry run. Ensure you travel the route to your interview in advance, preferably around the same time as your interview to ensure you know the route and how long it will take you to get there in relevant traffic conditions. Always aim to arrive 10 minutes before your interview. Also, plan what you want to bring. Perhaps bring an extra copy of your CV. A neat notepad and pen is always a good idea because you can use this to write your interview questions down in advance to show you're well prepared. Also, make sure you take with you any information you may need if asked to complete an application form such as references. Also, if applicable, a portfolio of samples of your work to show where you can add value. After all, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Number 4 is find out about the job. Ask for a copy of the job description and person specification. This will give you the duties and responsibilities of the role you are being interviewed for. If the company cannot provide you with these documents, review the job advertisement and look for people on LinkedIn who may be in a similar role with the company. Make a list of the knowledge, skills, behaviours and abilities required. How does your experience and personality traits compare to what they will be looking for? Look at the hierarchy and try and determine where the position fits within the organisation. Reviewing LinkedIn for people who work there or the contacts page on the company website may give you some clues to support you with this. Talk to anyone you know who is familiar with the kind of work you may be doing and aim to find out what qualities the prospective employer is looking for. This is particularly important if you haven't done this specific role before. Prepare some examples of relevant experiences you have encountered and successes and achievements you have had. Step 5 is competency-based interviews. Competency-based interviews, also known as structured, situational or behavioural interviews, are designed to test your skills and competencies. Questions will be based around a competency framework that's required for the job. For example, a job in customer services will require a complaint handling skills, or an engineer will require problem-solving skills. Interview questions tend to start with, "Tell me about a time when," or "Can you give me an example of?" But be warned, many interviewees miss fabulous opportunities to showcase their experience by launching straight into their answers, often assuming that the interviewer will know more than they do about the example they provide. So if you spot that you are being asked a competency-based question, firstly you must always provide a specific example and not a generalised one, and use the STAR technique to help you craft your best response. Let's take a closer look at what I mean by the STAR technique by asking a competency-based question. Can you tell me about a time when you dealt with a difficult customer situation? So let's look at the S, which stands for situation. Firstly, set the context for your story. For example, one of my regular customers called me as he was concerned that an order he was expecting from us hadn't arrived. He was understandably quite stressed about it, as the order contained vital parts for a machine that they were manufacturing that had a strict deadline for completion. There were consequences to missing this deadline, so I appreciated how important our delivery was to them. Task. What was required of you? For example, it was my responsibility to find out where the order was, so I reassured him that I would personally deal with the problem and would keep him informed every step of the way. A is for action, what you actually did. For example, once I retrieved the order details, I went down to the warehouse to speak to our dispatch department. I found out that the order was still in the warehouse and hadn't been dispatched due to one of the drivers being taken ill. Clearly there was a communication issue that we had to learn from. However, the most important thing was to get this order to the customer. So my colleague and I arranged for another driver to deliver the parts straight to the customer. Thankfully, they were able to leave straight away. R is for result, how well the situation played out. For example, I called my customer straight back and explained what had happened, apologising again. I then went on to explain what we were doing to get the part to him. My customer was relieved and thanked me for appreciating the urgency of the matter and quickly resolving the problem too. Later on, I followed up with him to ensure he had received the parts. He had, and he expressed his gratitude and also wrote a lovely email to my manager, complimenting me on how I had solved the problem. So let's dissect my response. As I used a specific example, my answer flowed well, like a story, making it more interesting for the interviewer to listen to. By following this technique, I didn't leave anything for my interviewer to assume. I was able to demonstrate competencies and skills such as empathy, listening skills, initiative, passion, accountability, communication skills, problem solving, issue resolution skills, all within that one answer. And the cherry on the top was the result, where my interviewer was able to capture feedback from my customer on my service levels, reassuring them that I genuinely care and have a keen desire to deliver great customer service. No doubt skills that are highly valuable to them too. Now, the beauty of competency-based questions is that you can create a bank of answers in advance of your interview so that you don't become flummoxed on the day. If you practice this technique well, the STAR technique will be invisible to the interviewer, enabling you to provide concise and well-articulated responses to their questions. Step 6 is prepare your interview questions. Think about what you would like to know about the job and the company, who your manager is, how many colleagues you'll be working with, for example. Questions about structure, software, systems, and how things are done are good. Do ask about training and development opportunities for career progression, but just be careful to not come across that you want to advance too quickly. Steer clear if you can about asking about salary, especially sick pay and other terms and conditions of work until you've been offered the job. It could create the wrong impression. Here are some additional questions that you could ask. The last step is the night before. Get a good night's sleep. Ensure your clothes and everything you are bringing with you is ready to avoid any unwanted last-minute stress. And when you've prepared as much as this, you stand a good chance of success. Remember, nerves are natural, but if you follow these steps, you will certainly reduce them. Keep your mindset positive, and whatever the outcome, remember you've done your best and you're one step closer to securing the job that's truly right for you. Just one last final tip. When you're in your interview, ask your interviewer for a glass of water. This will give you the opportunity to take a sip when you need to pause and think before you respond to any interview questions. And the last thing to say is good luck. Now go nail that job interview.